Friends, did you know that over 60% of your first time clients are never coming back to your business again? They are going to your competition. That is so painful, and it doesn't have to be that way. That's where Maya comes in. Maya is the ultimate marketing software for the beauty and wellness industry. We have a proprietary funnel utilizing special algorithms to help connect the right consumers with the right providers at your business. So what does this mean? This means Maya helps you get higher spending clients you love to work with who stay the long haul. If you want to increase your revenue, increase your client count, increase your average ticket, and increase your new client retention, then you need Maya. Go to the link in our show notes to get your demo of Maya set up. Or go to joinmaya, that's MYA.com, joinmaya.com, and see why over 500,000 consumers have trusted Maya and the businesses that we work with to find their perfect beauty and wellness pro. We have your back, we always will, and we promise you will love Maya. Thank you for joining me. This is Katie Whitledge with the Beyond the Technique podcast. Wow, we are officially in February of 2025. And here's what I have to say. Oops, I did it again. Okay, let me explain. We're talking retail commission. If you've been following our show, we've brought this up a couple times. A very humbling thing for me to bring this back to you today, but I think it's important for you to know that previous compensation structures I've shared have evolved. And sometimes that happens, doesn't it? We own our salon business, we work on it, we put things into practice, and then we test and measure. And in the midst of testing, we discover ways to make improvements. So let me explain. We had a problem, and you might have this problem too. Our stylists could never wrap their head around what they needed to do for their retail performance because our benchmarks were set up based on percentage of total sales. To make it easy, we'll say 20%. Let's say you require 20% retail sales from your stylist. Well, here's the issue. Every 2 weeks, when it's payroll period, they have varying service totals. So 1 week, they might sell $2,000 in services. The next, it might be 3,000. And that means that 20% of those total sales are going to be different week by week, which made it very, very hard for stylists to know if they were close to hitting their goals or not. And this is challenging because if you have a commission salon and you are not moving your stylist up to different titles or levels unless they hit retention and retail goals, KPIs, right? Then it makes it very challenging for them to understand what they need to do to be successful. And if we're going to be honest, it makes it hard for you to understand. How do you coach your team to be successful with retail sales based on percentages? So number one, that was our problem we needed to fix. And let me also share that one of the big things we changed, this has not changed, by the way, but one of the things we changed that we kept was giving our stylists a chance to hit bonuses every payroll period for the success of their retail sales. What this means is that in every 2 weeks, if they hit their retail sales goal, we would actually increase their service commission percentage. So let me give you an example. A level 2 associate stylist is set to make 40% commission on services. If they hit their retail goal within a 2-week payroll period, we would bump up their commission from 40% to 42%. it gave our stylists a chance to make more money on the services that they provided by doing better on retail. And we still paid them 10% wholesale on all retail sales, 10% wholesale on all retail sales. So this is how we structured it in 2024. Well, 2025, we wanted to make it simple, right? We want to get rid of this whole percentage of service sales because nobody knows what is the number I need to hit. Well, it would change if you base it on percentages because your service totals change every payroll period. So we made a big change, and that's what I'm here to share today. I kind of joked with our leadership team. I said, gosh, it's going to be really humbling to come back and do yet another podcast on this. But I think it's so important that we do share that this has changed again because now we've settled into something so phenomenal, so successful that our entire staff is fired up about it. And they feel finally a sense of relief that this is clear and the expectations are very, very clear. So let me dive into it. We got rid of retail percentages as goals to hit every payroll period, and we changed it to a dollar amount. Now, in my previous podcast, I shared, and this was towards the end of 2024. It was a very, very long episode of my sharing many, many things. I normally try to keep these episodes around 25 to 30 minutes, and my end of the year kind of message or episode ended up being around an hour long. And so this was kind of piggybacked in that conversation. And that's where I said, hey, we asked our stylists, what do you want to earn in 2025 as total compensation? So if a stylist says to you, well, I want to make $100,000 this year, then we would figure out what percentage that they needed to do in retail at whatever level they were at. And then we'd show them that dollar amount. So let's say they wanted to make $100,000 and they were at a master level where we expect that 20% of their total sales is retail. Well, now you can do the easy math of what that means they need to do in retail sales every year. Well, when we back that number out, it actually was like triple the amount that any of our stylists had currently been doing in retail sales. So one of our stylists, thankfully, did the math herself. And she goes, wait, if I'm sharing what I want to make in gross income pay, for the sake of ease, we'll say $100,000. Doesn't that include like all my compensation, which would include gratuities? So that really can't be included in this mathematical formula. And it was like a blinding flash of the obvious. You are right, we said to her. Your retail percentage should not be based on your total gross pay because you're right. Your gross pay does include gratuities and total compensation. So we went back to the drawing board. I hope you're following me because we still wanted to solve the same problem, which is to get rid of having percentages be a thing tied to retail expectations or KPIs. We still wanted there to be a dollar amount. We still wanted to give them a bonus opportunity every payroll period to increase their service commission percentage by 2% if they sold the amount of retail that we set forth for them. So we went back to the drawing board and I said, okay, let's look at the last 3 years at our top performing stylists when it came to retail sales in every single level. So what was who was the best performing protege level one in retail in the last 3 years? What did that person do annually in retail sales? Great. What was the best performing level two in retail sales the last 3 years? Who was our best performing level three? Who was our best performing level four? Once we saw those total annual sales per level of what is possible, we created the dollar amount per payroll period. What's cool about this is you are not giving your team something that is impossible. You're showing them something that has already been achievable. Somebody in your level has already done what we're going to ask you to do. And if you hit it, you get this bonus. It makes it simple and it still stretches the majority of the team to do better with retail than they probably currently are doing. So let me share with you. And by the way, if you are listening today, the good news is I have an updated landing page in our show notes for you to go and click on this and download it. Now, if you're watching, this is what it looks like. You're going to get the downloadable that shows you the exact dollar amount and how we break this whole compensation structure out. This is the whole thing, which is beautiful. And so let me share with you. If a stylist at our salon is a level one protege stylist, their starting commission is 38%. Every single period, every payroll period, they have an opportunity to hit a 40% service commission if they sell $500 in retail for that payroll period. So it would be 2 weeks worth. In 2 weeks, can you sell $500? Here's what's really cool about this. Our leadership team broke this down into weekly and daily sales. And it was like $60 per day they were behind the chair. I mean, this is achievable, my friends. And so we wanted to see them feel a sense of like, now I have a dollar amount in front of me. In other words, a level one protege stylist needs to sell $250 in retail every week. That is possible at a level one. And if they hit this 2 weeks in a row during a payroll period, they get bumped from 38% service commission to 40% service commission. On top of getting paid their 10% of retail sales based on the wholesale amount. Are you with me? I hope so. And this downloadable will help as well. A level two associate stylist, their retail goal every payroll period is $650. A level three, $800. A level four is $925, and a level five is $1,050. This makes it clear as day what our team needs to do. And do you have to lock this in year by year? No, because the minute you have a team member within a certain level exceed what is currently set up, then you move the goal line. You say, great, we have a new and you know what? You can make it 5%. You could say next year, 2026, we're just going to increase these dollar amounts by 3%, 5%. You can make it very simple and very easy. And that'll help anyway, because do our product costs go up? Yeah. So are what we're selling our products for every year going to be more? Yes. So it does make sense that year by year, your retail dollar amount per category would increase. So this is just for 2025 for Be Inspired Salon, again, based on previous performance of our top retail sales team members. You would want to make this custom for the performance of your team. Just use this downloadable as a guide and then work with your leadership team to put the numbers that are applicable to your business, the way you structure things. But here's the really cool thing. Every single stylist is now equipped and empowered to know they get bonuses when they hit these exact sales numbers. And it no longer is it this ambiguous percentage that seems to always change. And I'll tell you, it was one of our top performing retail sales stylists, master level, saying, I feel defeated because I'll never hit my retail percentage. Even though I sell, she's often recognized for selling the most retail every month, But because her service pricing is so high, that retail percentage to total sales just never hit that 20%. And so you kind of, as an owner, think, okay, do I move the goal line? Well, you never want to really move the goal line. But if you say, look, this is what this top performer is already doing, how do we stretch her a little bit and still give her a way more attainable goal to hit? Because your A players, they want to hit their goals. They are thirsty for it, but they will feel frustrated if the goal isn't clear and tangible. So this has been the new game changer that we just launched, and everybody's fired up about it. I hope that you are fired up about it too. So today's conversation is short, it's sweet, and it's to the point. I want you to go to the link in our show notes and get this compensation structure downloaded. This is the new 2025 levels benchmarks. You'll see everything from compensation to the different level system to productivity percentages, what your team can expect to make in a year, depending on their total daily sales and what that looks like annually. And of course, now they see an easy to understand retail sales expectation based on dollar amounts, no longer based on percentages. I hope this is helpful. I hope you love it. Let's stick together because this year is going to be the best we've ever had. Thank you for being here with me. If you love Beyond the Technique, please take a moment to leave us a review so that more people like yourself will discover Beyond the Technique, where we are here to change the way that you are supported in your business. Until next time, have an awesome day and stay strong.